Your partner is performing safety around you, smiling when they are breaking, saying, I am fine when they are drowning, and you think the relationship is stable. It's not. They have just decided quietly, permanently, that you are no longer the person they can break in front of. And that decision is already destroying everything. You want to know what real distance looks like in a relationship? It's not fights, it's not silence. It's the moment your partner starts rehearsing their sentences before they talk to you, choosing words carefully, measuring how much to reveal, editing the truth in real time, not to deceive you, but to protect themselves from your response. They are still talking to you, but they are not speaking to you. There's a difference. And if you have ever felt like the person next to you is somehow unreachable, like there is this glass between you that you can see through but you can't break, this is why you became the person they manage, not the person they trust. So I'm going to show you the exact mechanism that causes this, how it happens without either partner seeing it, and the 5 behavioral shifts that confirm it's already done. Here's the pattern. Emotional safety doesn't collapse, it gets disqualified. Your partner came to you with something vulnerable, maybe once, maybe several times, and what they got back was advice when they needed presence, logic when they needed comfort, defensiveness when they needed accountability, or worst of all, their own words thrown back at them in a later argument. They didn't make a conscious decision to stop trusting you. Their nervous system made it for them. One failed bit at a time, and by the time you are wondering why they feel distant. The verdict was delivered months ago. You just were not informed. So, a man 41, married 13 years, by every metric a committed husband, present, faithful, involved with his kids. But his wife had slowly become someone he didn't recognize, agreeable, pleasant, and completely sealed off. So he told me about a night 4 years earlier that he had just been passed over for a promotion, something he had worked toward for 2 years. He came home gutted, sat on the edge of the bed and told her, voice cracking, that he felt like a failure. And she looked at him and said, you are not a failure, you just need to play the politics better. You're too honest for that place. It sounds supportive, right? Except it wasn't. What he needed in that moment was for someone to say nothing, to sit beside him, to let him feel the defeat without being redirected out of it. Instead, he got a pep talk, a correction, a subtle message that said, don't feel that, feel this instead. He smiled and said, yes, you are right, and never brought anything like that to her again. Not the fear he had about his health the following year, not the grief when his closest friend moved away, not the quiet existential dread that started visiting him at 3 a.m. She got the operational version, the stable version, the version that ran the household and made decisions and never cracked. 4 years later, she told a friend, he never opens up to me. I don't know what he's feeling. She was right. She did not know. Because the night she fixed him instead of holding him, he learned that his pain was a problem she wanted to solve, not an experience she was willing to share. And he never made that mistake again. She didn't fail him with cruelty, she failed him with efficiency. And that's the version of this that nobody talks about, because it looks like love. It sounds like support. It lands like rejection to a nervous system that needed to be met, not managed. So what's happening biologically when this shift occurs? Your nervous system operates on a principle called neuroception, an unconscious threat detection system that evaluates safety in real time. It was identified by Stephen Porges. It doesn't use logic, It uses pattern recognition, tone of voice, facial micro expressions, how fast someone responds, whether their body leans in or pulls back when you are in distress. When your partner comes to you vulnerable, their nervous system is running a scan, not do they love me? That's a cognitive question. The scan is deeper. Can this person hold what I'm about to show them without flinching, fixing, or even weaponizing it? If the answer comes back no, even once or twice, the system flags it. If it comes back no repeatedly, the system reclassifies you. You move from safe to conditionally safe, and conditionally safe means I will show you the acceptable parts, the parts I know you can handle. The rest stays locked. And here's what makes this nearly impossible to reverse. The reclassification doesn't happen in the thinking brain. It happens in the autonomic nervous system, below language, below logic, below every rational argument you could ever make. Which is why just tell me what's wrong is the most useless sentence in any relationship where safety has already been lost. You are asking someone to consciously override a biological protection system. And body doesn't take orders from the mouth. So 5 signs that you have been reclassified as emotionally unsafe. Sign number 1, they give you conclusions instead of process. Like, I have decided to take the other job. Not that I'm torn between 2 options and I need to think it through with you. So when someone only gives you the finished product of their thinking, it means they no longer trust you with the mess, the uncertainty, the unfinished version. You get the press release, someone else got the drafts. Sign number 2, their body language shifts when the conversation go deep. And you better watch closely. When something vulnerable enters the conversation, do they lean toward you or do they subtly contract? Crossed arms, gaze breaking to the side, a slight lean backward. These aren't conscious choices, they are automatic responses. The body pulling away from a space it no longer registers as safe. You can override words, you can't override the nervous system, and the nervous system is always telling the truth. Sign number 3, they use humor to deflect emotional depth. That's very important and you better be careful. Every time a conversation gets close to something real, they crack a joke, change the subject, make it light, and you think they're just not a deep conversation person. Wrong. They are a deep person who learned that depth isn't safe with you. Humor is one of the most sophisticated emotional defense mechanisms. It acknowledges the feeling just enough to release the pressure without ever actually exposing the wound. If your partner is consistently funny when they should be vulnerable, that's not personality, that's an armor. Sign number 4, they have built a parallel emotional support system, a best friend who knows everything, a sibling they call first, a therapist they never quote to you, an online community where they are emotionally visible in ways they never are at home. This is not betrayal, by the way. This is architecture. They have built an emotional life that functions without you. And because the original structure, the one that was supposed to include you, was condemned, not demolished, condemned. Still standing, just no longer inhabitable. Sign number 5, they have stopped fighting with you. This is the one everyone misreads, by the way. You think the relationship improved because the arguments stopped. It did not improve. They quit. Not the relationship, the belief that conflict with you leads anywhere productive. When someone stops fighting, it doesn't mean they agree. It means they have decided that their truth isn't going to survive the conversation. So they save it, they keep it, and they share it with someone who doesn't make honesty expensive. So here is what you need to sit with. You don't become unsafe because you are a bad person. You became unsafe because In the moments that mattered most, the moments where your partner was exposed, afraid, confused, or hurting, you responded with something other than presence. You fixed, you advised, you deflected, you made it about you, or you stored it and used it later. So each time you taught them something they will never tell you directly. I can't afford to be real with you. Not because you are dangerous, I'm telling you again and again, but because you are expensive. Vulnerability with you comes at a cost, and they have decided that they can no longer afford it. Now comes the repair. Rebuilding emotional safety is the hardest repair in any relationship because it can't be rushed, it can't be announced, and it definitely can't be demanded. Why don't you tell me things anymore? That question is a trap, not an invitation. It puts the burden of proof on the person who already got burned. Instead, you rebuilt it the way you had approached a stray animal that's been hit before. Slowly, without sudden movements, without expectation. You create micro moments of safety and you let them go unrewarded. They share something small, you receive it without any commentary, without fixing, without turning it into a lesson or a conversation about yourself. You just hold it quietly and completely. And you do that over and over, not because it guarantees they will open up back, but because it's the only language the nervous system trusts. Repeated evidence that this time the response will be different. If you are the one who stopped being safe, this is your wake-up call. Not to panic, not to overreact or overcorrect, but to understand that the distance you feel isn't a mystery, it's a consequence. And consequences, they can be reversed if you stop performing safety and start practicing it. And if you are the one who shut the door, you were not wrong to protect yourself. But you deserve to know that the right person with the right response can make that door worth opening again. Not all the way, not all at once, but enough to let something real back in. The question for both of you is the same. Is this relationship worth becoming safe again?